Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where I try to give you some really great recipes to spice up your healthy living. Now today, hopefully you love seafood as much as I do. I'm a huge fan. I love almost all of it. I'm kind of a texture girl, but this is a great recipe. I've always loved crab cakes, salmon cakes, things like that. But you know, they throw a lot of things in there that aren't always the healthiest options in order to bind them. So today it's a super simple recipe because, to be quite frank, I don't do complicated at this point in life because I don't have to. So what we're going to do today really quick, it's only going to take you a few minutes. You just have to have a couple things on hand. Hopefully some of the staples you'll have on hand anyway, like coconut oil, because man, we use a lot of that at my house. You think heavens for Costco, right? Love-hate relationship. All right, so super simple. I've already got my pan heating. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit of coconut oil to my pan. It really works great because it has a higher smoking point than some of the other oil options. And of course, I don't want you to be using vegetable oil. It is seriously not good for you because of the way that it is refined and processed. So I'm gonna add a little bit of coconut oil and let that melt. Just so that I've got something healthy to fry my salmon cakes in. Now, again, you don't necessarily want to be low fat. You know, it really was a huge disservice here in the States and kind of around the world when they really came out with fat causes fat and we need to eat really low fat, because unfortunately the majority of, well, your cells are made up of fats. So the problem comes down to, what do those fats come from? If you get them from crappy foods, you're going to have crappy cells. So just keep that in mind. Okay, super simple. So honestly, all you have to do is you just get a can of salmon from the store. Now this is a 14.75 ounce, but you really only need 4 to 8 ounces per serving. So it's totally up to you. This actually was great because it made 2 servings for what I'm trying to accomplish. So you're gonna put that in a bowl. Go ahead and take out the skin, but leave any bones, which you're not really gonna find a lot, but trust me, you're not gonna choke on them. They basically kind of become nothing once they're in this mixture. You're just gonna smush it up till it becomes kind of homogeneous. Like I said, this is about 4 to 8 ounces of salmon. And to that, I'm just gonna add a few other ingredients, including egg that I've beaten. Now you may or may not want to add the whole egg. Here's the deal. If you're having to go a little lower fat, you can always just do the egg whites. It will help bind it. You can do it without the egg at all. You're just gonna, it's not gonna, it'll pan fry, but it won't actually like hold together. So keep that in mind. But I'm gonna add the majority of this egg to my salmon mixture. Perfect. And then to that, I'm actually just gonna add, you could add some different things. You could add some celery, I'm gonna add some chopped onions. You could do minced onion, minced garlic, different spices. Honestly, turmeric or curry would be amazing for this, or some dill. But I'm gonna throw some, I love onion. It's one of those things that as a kid, I was like, oh no. And now of course, as an adult, I love it. Can't say that about tomatoes, but I can say that about onions. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix that really well. And to that, I'm gonna add, personally, a little bit more in the way of onion powder and some garlic powder. I love garlic, so just deal with my breath, it's okay. Okay, I'm also gonna add just a little bit of sea salt and some pepper over from my little stash over here. So just a little bit of each of those. Now my pan is nice and hot. My coconut oil has melted. I'm just gonna mix this up really good. And then honestly, with clean hands, I'm just gonna form my cakes and put it in the pan. And I'll show you what they're gonna look like. Now they are amazing. Made them for my dinner last night. So I can tell you that these worked out really, really well. And like I said, they're super simple. Now, personally, I prefer them warm, but honestly, you can make them ahead and reheat them at work. I really don't care what your coworkers say. Or, you can eat them cold, I guess. I personally like the texture a little bit better when they're warm. And honestly, when they're just fried, And again, fried isn't always a bad thing. Here we're cooking it in healthy coconut oil, which are more healthy fat options. We're talking about fried, like, don't cook it in vegetable oil. Don't deep fat fry it in whatever the heck the restaurant is using from 3 and 4 weeks ago, which is, to be honest, quite disgusting. The biggest benefit, I can't eat out. I just don't do it a lot because even if I make healthy choices, I don't always know what they're doing to my food back there. So at least when I make it at home, I know exactly where it's been and where it's going and what I've put in it, which really helps, especially if I'm trying to track it in my FitnessPal. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of move that a little bit around. And I'm gonna make my little patties here, super, super simple. Like, so I'm just gonna use my hands. And this is gonna make about 3 or 4 patties, depends on the size that you're looking for. And I'm just gonna cook it. You can hear that, nice and roasty, toasty. So you're gonna cook it for about 5 minutes on each side. and to let it just kind of brown. Well, second side won't quite need 5 minutes. First side might need 5 minutes. Second side, just until it's browned. And then you can serve it with things like homemade mayo. I just don't recommend this stuff from the store. Again, we're talking vegetable oils. Yes, I know I need to do a whole video on why those are so bad for you. They are, okay? So let me get that in there, and I'm gonna show you what it's gonna look like when it's all done and ready to eat. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh man, you could have this with guacamole, make some homemade salsa. I mean, come on, there's so much that you could do, and a lot of it you could just make ahead, and all you have to do is pull it from your fridge. So really, guys, here's the deal. I learned a long time ago that busy people know how to get things done. So you can't tell me that you're too busy for it, because that's just an excuse. It really depends on how bad do you want it. Do your obstacles outweigh your goals, or do your goals outweigh your obstacles? I want to feel good, and I want to be healthy, and I want to be able to run with my grandkid. Well, one right now, but for a long time, and I want to have that energy. So, at 45, I feel better than I did at 28. Pretty awesome deal, right? So here's what those are gonna look like when they're done, right? Like I said, you can serve them with some sort, and you can, spices are totally up to you. Just make sure if you're using some sort of combined spice, make sure you look at the ingredient list that it doesn't have anything ending in "-ose", like dextrose or maltodextrin. They like to throw some of those things in there as an anti-caking agent. And technically it's sugar, so be careful with that. But this is how they're gonna look. It smells amazing, and it's super yummy. Like I said, I had them for dinner, and even my kids were stealing off my plate. So that's how you know when it's super good. So I'm just gonna flip those in a few minutes. Like I said, they're just gonna be a nice toasty brown, and they'll be good to go. If you try these recipes, and if you like it, let me know. And hey, if you don't like it, let me know, because it always helps to know which direction we should be going in. Just trying to give you some really great options for when you get bored with maybe your normal meal plan, or you just need a really quick, great idea to kind of spice up your dinner. Have an incredible weekend, you guys. Please don't be afraid to message me directly. If you have a recipe that would be great, I get my best ideas from you guys. I would love it. Also, please be sure to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Lots of fun videos coming out. The newest one that should be up here by Monday is how to deal with Plan C, which is how you can still eat healthy when you're at a convenience store. So have an incredible weekend, you guys. That is Meals with Melissa. Bye now.